What is up? All right. So I'm scrolling through looking for stuff to watch. There's not a lot of stuff uh, that I'm really finding that I can react to here, but found this uh, after scrolling through some stuff. Is uh, is non AI pushing as I am? I don't know. I'm a little tired. As much as I don't want AI to take over just everything, I am interested to see how far it's come. I use it as a tool. I don't use it as a um, replacement for everything. But this might be something I would use it for if I could use it as a video editor. Maybe, I don't know. But this video is 10 minutes long. Let's see what it's.
You know what I mean? Like,
Oh,
or going,
back
back and
All right,
that
let's see what
magically
it does.
picks your music and
Gave
gets
it 4
it
hours.
finally happened.
Finally happened. Gave it 4 hours and nailed the edit. So I am interested in this. But as far as like, hey, ChatGPT or Google or Claude or whoever, make me a story. All right, now make me pictures. All right, now make me a video out of the pictures. All right, now, make my thumbnail. I'm not interested in that, but something like this could be could be interesting. I don't know. Let's see.
An AI tool for video editors, but probably not how you're thinking. It's called Plotline, and it's not just an AI that magically picks your music and gets your B-roll all cut up and takes out the shaky bits. What it does do is solve one problem that nobody's really been able to crack. It helps you find the story before you start cutting. So I've been a filmmaker for nearly 20.
Find the story. Wouldn't you film with a story in mind? I mean, this guy's got more subscribers than I do, so maybe he knows more than I do. So
20 years, weddings, documentaries, commercial, all of it. And most of the time, my process looked the same. Import footage, dig through it for long periods of time, pull my hair out, take.
see, whenever I do stuff like vlogs or whatever, I'm more of like I want to film intentionally what I want, so I don't have to sit through hours and hours of footage.
Days just kind of pushing footage around, you know what I mean? Like, or going, back and listening to things over and over again and trying to recall the day, the shoot, what happened when, and it was just a mess. What is the big advantage that fictional or narrative filmmakers have over documentary and unscripted filmmakers? The script. They're able to follow the game plan in documentaries and weddings and even content like for YouTube. We don't have that advantage. We shoot first. Maybe, hopefully, some pre-production, but we're mostly finding the story in the edit. What if there was a better way than just culling through interviews manually for a long period of time, wasting all this time organizing things and labeling and taking notes, doing like an old traditional paper edit, which is powerful. If you don't know, a paper edit's when you would print out transcripts of interviews and start rearranging it on index cards to find the story. Paper edits were slow, tedious, but it worked. And it did something really important. It separated the tasks of finding the story and building the edit. Those are two completely different mental tasks. We've been mashing them together into one miserable phase for far too long. That separation, story first, edit second, is the entire.
I mean, yeah, but back to what I was saying, wouldn't you want to have the story in mind before? I don't know.
Entire idea behind what I'm about to show you. So enough talking, let's get into it. So this is Plotline, and I'm going to walk you through everything from creating a project to exporting it back into my editing software with the original footage, not just MOV files I exported specifically for this, the actual clips from my editor. So I'm going to go to the dashboard here, create a new project. Obviously, we're working on a wedding today, but you can do any of these types of projects with custom story engines. I've created a masterclass and been teaching it for a very long time now. I've been in the filmmaking world for 20 years, and all of my knowledge of that masterclass and all my experience is put into this story engine. So this isn't just an average, AI. This isn't just a wrapper around ChatGPT. This is a in-depth narrative first story engine. So I'm just going to title it Mila and Christian, and we'll go into this. And the first thing you want to do is upload an MP3 file of your entire timeline of all your A-roll. So I'm going to select that here, Mila and Christian. And here's where you can select the frame rate. You can select how many speakers there are. In English and a handful of other languages, you can have up to 30. In
Wow.
many other languages, you can have up to 10. This is in English, and this one was up to 10 speakers.
Who's making videos for 10 speakers? Like, I normally. That's the second time those lights went off. I don't know why they went off earlier. I thought it was midnight earlier. It's midnight now. Anyways, yeah, who is making videos with that many speakers?
And we know the language is English. So I'm just going to hit upload, and that's going to work. Uploads pretty quickly, depending on your internet speed, of course. And once that finishes, you will see transcribing has begun. This will take a few minutes, depending on the length of your audio file. Now that the transcription is finished, we just add our XML file of the exact same sequence from the editing software. This works obviously with Final Cut.
Basically, you give it a story, and then you upload the video files in order so it understands where the story goes.
DaVinci Resolve or Adobe Premiere. I'm going to upload that. Everything looks good. So now I'm going to move on to the transcript tab. And while that loads, you're going to see these speakers laid out here, detected 10 speakers, which is great. And in the background, it is going to identify those 10 speakers. There it is. They're all there. And that's basically it. You can search for certain moments. You can replace text. You can edit a little bit. You can change speakers if the AI got it wrong. But I almost never do that because it's so accurate. Next, we're going to go to the Story Script tab. The Story Script tab is where it gets really interesting. This didn't exist before. There's so much power in being able to sit down, be presented with options, combined with your memory of the event, and just seeing it all laid out before you, and you're kind of able to tune the story. It's an amazing, amazing tool. So we're going to go into the Story Script creation process. And first thing I like to do is generate a insight preview. This is basically going to have our story engine comb through the audio file, comb through the transcript, and identify themes, motifs, emotional moments, and narrative patterns to guide the story script generation. And there we go. It's all ready. It took, I don't know, maybe 60 seconds at most, and everything's here. It has kind of the tone that it identified, the mood, has some standout themes, and then here's where you can actually really start to control what the story is going to be like. So there's, themes that it detected. If you star one, that kind of becomes the central theme of your story. You can deselect things you don't want it to focus on or include. And then I'm going to go to moments here.
So basically, it's going to use dialect to understand what's happening in the film. But if there's something that had no dialect and you was like, I really want to show like this awesome view of this mountain, it's likely not going to get it.
There's some standout moments. They are all selected as optional, but you can say, hey, I loved this moment. You must include that. And you know what? I loved it so much, I'm going to use it as the opening. That's always an option. I'm not going to do that for this one. And then same with motifs. This is similar to themes, just a bit more broad. There's obviously this couple met at the Calgary Stampede, or they got to know each other there. I'm going to say that's a...
He's killing me with the way he says motives. Motifs.
Strong thing I want to emphasize. The friendship, friend zoning thing. Of course, I'd like to have that be strong. Best friend called out multiple speakers, relationships root. Yeah, I'm going to leave that as strong. So yeah, basically you're able to go in here and really customize things. You can even go a step further and type in something custom in this story direction text box. For this couple, I mean, it already picked up on things I was going to talk about, but I'm going to mention Mila's dad's first impression of the group, and we'll see how it detects that. Then down here in speakers to include, if you recall, you know what, that speech wasn't very strong, then you can remove it. Or even for documentaries, if you can hear the interviewer and you want them to not be obviously included in the story script, you could deselect them. So for this one, I'm going to deselect the bride sister, let's say. And then once you are ready to go, you just hit generate story script.
I was there. Where's my video?
And it's finished. The first thing I see here is the story arc diagram. This is inspired by the traditional 3-act structure story arc, and it's just showing kind of the flow of emotion and what each story segment is through the whole film. So we start with a hook that you'll see down here. It's highlighted. You can see a preview here. Pretty self-explanatory, but as you go down into this, you can see, okay, it's opening with the bride saying, Christian, when we first met, I wasn't looking for love. In fact, I think I was running from it. I was fiercely determined to prove my independence, convinced that I had to move mountains on
You know,
my own.
I can see where if you want.
First thing I'm thinking is this is really strong.
A wedding video. I mean, how much could there possibly be to a wedding video?
I see it's about their first meeting. It's self-reflection of the couple, and it's kind of building tension all at the same time. If I'm curious as to why this was placed first, you can read here. Opens with Mila's voice, establishing the narrative spine. She wasn't looking for love, setting up the transformation arc. So there is intention and purpose behind every step of the story script process here. The story engine is really working hard to make sure there is a cohesive story through the entire film. You can see that through every story script segment here. We move on from the groom also mentioning their first time meeting, move on to the best man talking about how the couple really got to know each other at the Calgary Stampede in Alberta, Canada.
That's why he says motive weird. I bet he's from Canada. Motif.
All the way through to the end, and then all the way down here through to the end. And we can see why this final segment was picked as the closer, because it was the most emotionally powerful closing possible. Contains the word always, references past, present, and future, and captures the essence of their journey from street.
To me, though, I mean, maybe if it was already at the ending, but I'd want things to be in, like, timeline order. Like, just because it's the most emotion doesn't mean it should go at the end.
Strangers at the Stampede of Lifelong Partners echoes the opening, I wasn't looking for love, and complete narrative, or with complete narrative symmetry. She wasn't looking, but now there's no version of life without him. So that's really well thought out. That is really putting into words the theme and the bookends of the film. This is something, as the filmmaker, I want to convey. Sometimes I can't always put it into words, but the story engine really helped me find that. So I'm really happy with this. If I
for something like this, do you tell the people that you're doing this video for that you actually put it into AI and had AI do it?
I wanted to change things. There's an option to discover more here. You know what? We'll just go through it. If I click that, it will find some alternate segments that were also really strong if I wanted to add them or replace other moments. So here are some additional segments that the story engine found. I really like this one. It's about the bride saying that she's talking about she hopes they have the privilege of growing old together. So I'm going to take that and I'm going to scroll down. I'm going to put it right here. And now it's in my story script. So everything else looks great. I mean, I can edit manually if I want and reorder things. I can listen to it, but I'm happy. I'm going to go over to the export tab. So here in the export tab, immediately I can select what script to use or to export. If I have multiple, it automatically detected that my XML was from a Final Cut Pro project, and all I have to do is select the frame rate, decide if I want a heads or tail buffer, like a 1.5 seconds at the start and end of each clip for editing purposes, but I'm going to leave that off, and I hit download. So I open that up in Final Cut Pro, and I see the story script laid out perfectly for me. This has all the original media, all the original clip.
So what this does is it doesn't just create a video for you. It actually sets it up to be in... It does what it does. It's cut it up into sections and put it all together and opens it into your editing software for you to go through and color grade and do all the things and see. Maybe you didn't like that it's in that order, but yeah.
Both angles through the ceremony and speeches, all the audio that was playing at those certain moments. So I can go from here and just start to edit and select angles, select audio sources that I want, and get to the creative part much faster. This all in all took me under 10 minutes. and I'm ready to edit B-roll and music with this story.
Right.
That's incredible. So yeah, it finally happened. Plotline, the AI tool for video editors, not just something replacing editors, because I don't believe in that. I made an AI tool because I want to protect the storytelling process, not farm it out. If
Did this guy make that?
you'd like to see the result of a completely untouched version of this story script in the final film, you can check out the video in the link below. Of course, normally when I'm working with Plotline, I of course am going to tweak things after the fact when I'm back in my editing software. But just for the sake of this experiment, I'm going to show you a version of this film where it is exactly what the story script came back with. So check that out. Plotline is a paper edit that thinks. It gave me back the 4 hours I was torturing myself before trying to find stuff and organize all at the same.
So okay, so I like the idea of it. I don't like the idea of it doing it all for you, but I do like the idea of it putting it into sections, like cut it up and just put it into your editing software so you can go through and check it out. But yeah, let me know what y'all think. Would you be opposed to this kind of AI editing, or would you assume that when you hear AI editing that they just did it all for you and you didn't have no human connection with it? But yeah, y'all let me know what you think. Anyways, if y'all like this video, we will see you in the next one because you'll be back because I'm sure you'll like the next one as well, right? Maybe. I don't know. Y'all let me know.